what's up? I'm Zoe. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to show you an updated version of how I use Notion to track my reading. So, my current setup for Notion is blue themed. Blue is not my favorite color, but something about this layout is just so beautiful to me. I've actually had this for over a year, but I never did an update last year because I just felt like the pages, it just felt like something wasn't right. It wasn't flowing enough for me. This year, I looked at the spread again and I was just like, you know what? I still really like this spread. I really want to make this work. So let me look through all the pages and try and figure out what I can do. The blue theme still stayed because I just think it's so cool. I love this header that I have on here, and I'm pretty sure this is just one of the stock images that Notion provides. I really love this kind of icon look. It's just like the outline, and I just think it looks really clean. I called it my library, even though I feel like I could have called it like the reference desk, library reference desk or something. I found these pictures on Pinterest. I just kind of looked up books in blue and it came up, and I think it's really nice. I like the sky and the clouds, and then this picture also has clouds in it, so I just thought that was really fitting and kind of tied it together, and the shades of blue match the header, so it's so good to me. Now, the bookshelf is way less crowded than it was last time. We have the book title, we have the author, and then the status of the book, which would be finished, reading, you know, etc. The dates that I read the book, and then the rating and the number of pages. The number of pages is there because I like to track how many pages I read a year, and I think that's just a really cool stat to have. Of course, at the bottom, we do have the sum there. Now, this is the more detailed book page. So we have an icon, and I usually try and pick something that is as closely related to the book as possible. And then I have the title, Alone with You in the Ether, the author status, which can be new to me or familiar, the year that the book was published. So far, for the books that I have on here, these are the only years that I've done so far, but I can always add more. The status will be reading, DNF, finished, or on hold. I find that I put a lot of books on hold, and I'm just like, okay, I'll come back to this later. So I definitely had to have a category for that. The dates read is just a calendar, so I can always say when I started the book, and then I can add an end date if necessary. Then I have the reading group, so I know if it's children's, middle grade, young adult, new adult, or adult. The tags, so far I don't have that many, but I just add them as I go. Then I have tropes, and then I have ratings. So I start from half star all the way up to these 5 stars. Now, I know you're probably like, why are there 2 5 stars? So the one that's like this more like embellished star, 5 of those. Now that's a book that I'm just like, this is the best thing ever. I'm recommending it to every single person I know. I will be rereading this book multiple times. I am so in awe of this book. Everything. And then there's just like 5 stars where it's like, you know what? This is 5 stars. I'm not like jumping on furniture to talk about it because it's just kind of like, yeah, that happened. That's 5 stars. I can't rate it any lower, but yeah, it's 5 stars. It's also probably one of those things that makes sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to everybody else. And then I track what the format of the book is, audiobook, ebook, or physical. And then eventually I add the number of pages, but I only add that whenever I have finished a book. And then I put the summary right here, and then I put the book cover, and then I would put my thoughts right here. One of the things that I have added to kind of make it a little bit more interesting, whenever I have my little thoughts section, I will put my little updates on Goodreads, the little percentage status update. I will elaborate on that or I will write out what verbatim I put in the status. And then at the bottom, I will put down my whole full review of the book if I have a full one. This is also how it looks whenever a book is like completed. So this year I made an anticipated reads category because I figured since I was doing a video on it, I really wanted to be organized with the books that I was doing for this. So I made this whole spread and I tried to keep this to like new releases just because otherwise I feel like it would just be way too chaotic if I was doing all of the books I want to read, because I have a lot of books that I really am anticipating reading this year. But yeah, so these are just like new releases, and as the year continues I can add more books. The other things that you can see on this spread right away, I have the book title, the author, the publishing date, and the status of the book, and then the tags of that book. Let's look at spares so I can show you it also being used for a book I actually finished. So I have spare, which is the title, an icon that kind of matches the theme of the book. The author status is the same as the bookshelf spread, new to me or familiar. And then I have the publishing date, which is good so that I can always know what books are coming up for each month and, you know, add accordingly, which is also why I kind of wanted it to focus on just this year. And then I have my status. Now this one is a little bit more in depth. So we have Just a Dream, which is the status that all the books are on just right away. And I said just a dream because it's my dream to be able to read this book this year. I know myself and I know that it might just end up being just a dream. And I always hear that in Nellie's voice. I purchased a book or have had it loaned from the library or something. I started the book, when I finished the book, if I loved the book, if I was disappointed, if I DNF'd the book. And I have this because anticipated reads, you know, these are the books that I was actually looking forward to. So I don't think it's like unfair to put like loved or disappointed or DNF, because like these were the ones I was most hyped for. So of course I hope I end up loving all of them, but you know. And then I have my dates read for when I actually do read the book. When do I get around to it? The reading group is the same. Then I have tags, so I will go as I go. And then this is an example of the 5 stars versus 5 stars. And once again, we have the summary, and then I kind of do like my percentage updates, and then I put my review. Because I need the spread to look very balanced across and fit and not like awkwardly be unbalanced, thanks to this little TBR over here, I added 2 little reading challenges for myself this year. So this one I just found on Google, a very detailed reading challenge, and it has enough things on here that I feel like I could possibly achieve doing it. So yeah, back even when I was doing like physical reading journals, I always had a challenge of wanting to read a classic a month or a classic every other month, and I never achieved it. I already have managed to read Beloved by Toni Morrison, so I'm really excited for that. And February I will have another book. I think I am aiming to read Wuthering Heights, so hopefully that goes well. Then I keep track of how many books I have read right here. You just go up, down, and you can reset it at any time, and then just go back and like, you know, put the numbers there. We have arcs. Now I have not gotten a book arc in a really long time. I was on top of it and then I was just over it. The title of the book, we have the author, did I finish it or not, what rating did I give it, did I write my review on NetGalley, would I buy this book, yes, no, maybe. Goodreads, did I leave my review, when is the release date for the book, did I write a social media post. The tags, this is something that originally I kind of went back and forth over just like deleting and starting over. I wanted to be able to go back and look at the tags and how I track it every single year, so I have kept them year after year after year. And in the template, I am going to leave this page here, just because if you decide to keep this spread for multiple years, or if you decide you want to do something else, at least you will have a landing page for it if you want to change it or not. Or you could just make this the link that you put on there and just change this to be titled tags or whatever. I haven't really started filling this out yet. I usually try and do it at the end of the month so I can have all of the totals and I won't lose count if I actually put something on there or not, because trust me, I used to do it after every single book and I would forget. I would be like, wait a second, but did I do it for this book? or did I do these two? Tons of categories here, and I can always add to it. So I really like that. Yeah, but I probably should update this. But anyways, so right now I have like adult, black, which means like black voices, black authors, children's, classics, comics, contemporary fantasy, graphic, as in graphic novels. I just didn't feel like writing the whole thing. Pages and books read. This is very similar to the other page that I had, and every single year I just add another one and just keep it moving. I have each and every single month, and then I can see the page number and then the number of books read. And this is just another way to look at that total, and I like it, so I just keep doing it. I have this spread which lets me write down the book and then the author and then the pages read, page numbers. I think that this is a lot easier to look at whenever I do wrap-ups, even though I know I don't do a lot of wrap-ups, but sometimes I like to do like a recap of like my favorites of like the past 2 months or something like that. So I think it's easier to look at this than to look at the bookshelf and try and see, okay, so when did I start this book? When did I finish it? It gets a little confusing that way. So I think that this is very beneficial to me. But if you don't really need to do like wrap-ups and stuff, I could see how this page could be excessive. So you really don't need it because the bookshelf will already be tracking page number and the number of books right there. Series tracker. This one isn't as in-depth. I really need to go back and really go through my shelves and figure out how many series I am tracking. The book title, and then I have the author, and then I have the type of book, which can be a duology, a trilogy, 4-part series, a manga, or unknown. So obviously if it's a manga, that means that there could be so many volumes of that. And so I just said it's a manga. And then unknown is kind of like, what did I use it for? Oh, the Truly Devious series. I have no idea how many books are going to end up being in this series. I had no idea there were going to be 4. And now there are 5. I thought on average that I usually read at least 4 book series. Majority of them are trilogies, but I think I have quite a few that end up being 4 books at least. So I did that. I probably could go up to 5 and like make another category for that, but I don't feel like I read a lot of books that end up having 5 books in them. So yeah. And then I have the most recent number, and this is mainly for like manga. Probably could still be fixed, but one day if I come up with something, maybe I will. My word bank. I am not the best at keeping up with this, especially since the past year I did a lot of audiobook reading, and I also did a lot of ebook reading, and so I just wasn't near my Notion to be able to quickly jot something down or to make note of words that, you know, were new to me. But hopefully this year I will be able to keep track of that a little better. Word, pronunciation, the definition, part of speech, and the source. So I'll just put the book title and then the chapter that it was found in, or like the page number. When you go into the actual spread, all I write here is the sentence it was used in. Then I have my TBR here. I haven't changed this much because I'm constantly sitting here like I have so many books to read. Some of these have been here forever. Currently reading are up next. I loved being able to display the books that I plan on reading and stuff. So I did this again, and this time it looks like this, and I just have the book cover. I used to keep track of like what page I was on for each book as I read them, but that just was too much work, and I honestly just kind of found it annoying after a while. That is literally everything. I can't wait to show you the rest of my Notion pages in the future. Link for the template will be down below if you are interested. Let me know if you're using it, or what color you're going to change the theme to, or what pages you want to add, what you change, what you like, don't like, I don't know. Let me know down below, and thank you so much for watching. Bye! Dreams, baby.